Episode 5 of the league is here, and because we're getting towards the end of the season, that means these award battles are starting to heat up. So what do we got to do? We got to talk about the Heisman Trophy race. Last year, Jonathan Taylor won it. It was not really all that close. This year, he's got some competition, and it's coming from every single direction. We will start with our reigning Heisman Trophy winner, Jonathan Taylor, and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish as they take on Navy in what was supposed to be a game for him to build his resume turned into a dogfight. I mean, they were going 12 rounds as you see Taylor right there finding the end zone with this Navy midshipman squad. I mean, it is a tough offense to prepare for, but when you don't tackle and you give up 75-yard touchdown runs, man, what are you supposed to do there? Navy tying this thing up at 14. They desperately need Jonathan Taylor to come in clutch here, but it won't be Taylor, it'll be the tight end diving across the middle of the field, taking a substantial lead, but the Navy 2 field goals later takes us to a 1-point game, and then Jordan Savage finds the end zone. Wasn't a huge game for Jonathan Taylor, but Notre Dame does find a way to win that football game. Now it's time to talk about sophomore phenom Tiquan Falah. The basically entire Kansas offense revolves around this guy. He's got 1 touchdown on the day as they're taking on the Cincinnati Bearcats. They're going to find him again in the flat. That's touchdown number 2. That would about do it for him for scoring touchdowns. Now, he finished the day with a lot of catches, a decent amount of yards, and those 2 scores. So he's helping boost his Heisman odds just a little bit. But this is, again, another dogfight. Kansas really trying to stay alive in the Big 12 title race. They're going to need to win. That's the big thing for them. That loss to Kansas State may come back to bite them. But right now, they're up 21-10 on Cincinnati. Now 21-17. Little busted coverage there. Looked like they were in man and somebody didn't pick up their guy. By the way, I lied. Tiquan Falah finding the end zone for a 3rd time today. Had to keep you guys on your toes, taking the 10-point lead for the Jayhawks. Minute 23 left in this ball game. Now Cincinnati looking to maybe claw their way back into this one, and that's going to help right there. That touchdown, a 2-point conversion, and then the onside kick is recovered by Kansas. So the Jayhawks going to come away victorious in this one, 28-25. Tiquan Falah just showing why he deserves to be the Heisman Trophy winner. Now we got to talk about Micah Ford of the Nevada Wolfpack. He has been phenomenal this season. We've talked about him quite a bit. Every time we talk about Nevada, in fact, it's about Micah Ford because he is essentially their entire offense, and it's because of stuff like this. I mean, you're talking about 75-yard touchdown runs. You're talking about just highlight plays left and right. I mean, the guy is going to probably score 25 touchdowns by the end of this season. But again, another dogfight. Hawaii, Nevada tied up at 14 right now, and Hawaii's going to take the 21-14 lead. In fact, they would go in and score again right before the half, 55 seconds left. This one's going to be a handoff, and like I said, that's a touchdown, 28-14 now. That is quite a few unanswered for the Rainbow Warriors, and the first drive of the second half is going to result in a touchdown again, and that final score is 55-28. That is not great, to say the least. A guy that we have talked about, this kind of made a late push for the Heisman Trophy, CJ Hester of Louisiana. This guy has been unreal, taking on Coach Goon and the Coastal Carolina Shots. This one is not just big for the Heisman Trophy race, but this is big for the Sun Belt title race. I mean, whoever wins this game puts themselves in firm control of their own destiny in the conference. So getting that huge touchdown run right there was massive for the Raging Cajuns, but the defense allowing a wide open, I mean, you're talking about gaping hole right there to tie this ball game up at 7, and the offense would give the ball back to the Coastal offense, and that is another score. That one on the RPO bubble. We know Coastal loves that play, and they got it to work yet again. Now we're back on offense with Louisiana, and Kevin Babbitt was going to take the handoff, and he's got plenty of green in front of him, and he's going to swerve around the defender and find the end zone, tying this thing up yet again. With 2.5 minutes left in the first half, it's going to be an RPO flat for the Cajuns, and they're going to find the end zone yet again, take the 21-14 lead. They get the ball back, trying to put up more points before the break, and they would do just that. Brian Kortovich in the end zone. Lunch Winfield having himself quite the day, but with 9 seconds left in the first half, Coastal scrambling a little bit. They don't have any timeouts, and oh my God, Tavian St. Clair finds a wide open receiver in the end zone. You can't have a breakdown like that if you're Louisiana right before the half. They do start with the ball out of the break, and that is a seed from Lunch Winfield. Oh my God. I mean, he's looking like an elite marksman from like 300 yards with that throw. And then CJ Hester Man, if you haven't learned the name yet, what are you doing? Get out of the rock you are under, because this man is ripping hearts out of the Coastal Carolina faithful, and he's not done yet. And you see the score 42-21. This, the icing on the cake. That is a massive statement win for Louisiana. There was a lot of talk from Coach Goon during the week, and his team showed up flat. Louisiana did not, and that's why they are victorious. Now we got to talk about Tim Carpenter, the quarterback, the one quarterback up for the award. I mean, this guy is unbelievable this season. His ability to just work in the red zone is something that we really haven't seen from a quarterback so far in this series. I mean, he is just dot after dot after dot. I mean, you see what he's able to do right here. And then, I mean, there is a little bit of, why are you throwing the ball on the 1 yard line? Well, it's because this guy's unbelievable. And this is a big win, too, because Toledo was ranked. And that was basically what was standing in the way of the MAC title race after that loss to UMass. But they get the win, and they're in great position to now make the title game. Jalen Mbakwe doing the Jalen Mbakwe things as Middle Tennessee continues to roll over whatever the Conference USA throws in front of them. And it just feels like they're a death machine, a buzzsaw, if you will, running through this conference. Now 28-0 after that Hollywood Smothers run. Julian Duggar's going to roll out again. He's got plenty of time. He's going to find Jalen Mbakwe again, and Mbakwe is going to dust the Louisiana Tech defense for another score. And then we got to get Desmond James involved as well. And that's going to be a little RPO bubble action. 42-0 at this point, still in the first half. I mean, this is just as dominant of a first half as you could ask for. A minute left, they're going to try to do it again, and they will. Lincoln Kier to the flat. 77-7 is your final. Man, this Middle Tennessee team, they look prepared for the playoff if they're able to make it. But don't underestimate Western Kentucky. After that loss to Middle Tennessee, they are feeling good about where they're at. And it starts with this quarterback, Brad Smith, the redshirt freshman. He has been phenomenal this season, and he was, I mean, elite. This game is really the only way to describe him. His ability to find the open receiver and also see the defense pre-snap is, I mean, just chef's kiss type stuff. This kid is going to be special, and he's probably going to, have a statue built for him in Bowling Green. I mean, this throw right here is risky, but it shows the gunslinger mentality. He's like Brett Favre, except doesn't defraud Mississippi residents. So, I mean, he gets the best of Brett Favre, right? And he gets the best of the Western Kentucky win, 49-17. They just destroy Liberty. Now we got Delaware and Missouri State, the other two users in Conference USA, and it was the Blue Hens getting on the board first. It hasn't been a great season for Delaware, 2-5 on the year. Missouri State 4-3, looking to stay alive in this title race. They could very well make it as well if Western Kentucky does slip up again, but that pick right there is not going to do what you need it to do. It goes back for 6 in Delaware. Got a 14-0 lead. Delaware needs this one. I mean, they can still theoretically make a bowl game at this point. They are going to have to go 4-1 down the stretch, but they can do it. And it's going to have to start right here. You don't want to win. You don't want to have to win 4 in a row, especially with a Jacksonville State still on the schedule. And that touchdown right there puts them back in front. They kick a field goal to take a 10-point lead. Missouri State back in the goal to go. 4th and goal. We're in the 4th quarter now, and he gets stuffed. Oh my God, the QB sneak doesn't work. Wow. What a stand by Delaware to just put everything on the line. But the safety puts Missouri back into it. Oh my God, it's an 8-point game. This field goal means everything, and it is up, and it is good. What a finish. I didn't feel like we were going to come down to something like that, but that was, it gets your heart racing a little bit. The Delaware now 3-5 on this season. Bowl game not out of the question. Oklahoma State looking to get back on track, reach 500 against a TCU team that is already sitting at 500. And it was Caleb Hicks. It was Ricky Hunt. I mean, they were doing everything they wanted to early on in this one. Hicks again. He is unbelievable, man. I'll tell you what, this kid is special. He's one of the better running backs to put on orange and black, play at Stillwater. And then it was Ford. I mean, just doing what he's done all season long. 43-21. The Pokes are able to get it done. Colorado State and Utah State, two of the better teams in the Mountain West right now, jockeying for position amongst the polls. And right now it's Colorado State 7-0 up on the Aggies, and it's 3 minutes left in the first half, facing a 3rd and goal. And this quarterback's got more time than you spend in a doctor's waiting room. Oh my God. They finally get the touchdown and take the 14-0 lead. I wonder if Coach Eric Taylor has let his boys know that they can rush the passer and hit the quarterback, because it doesn't seem like they know that at this point. And the back end of the defense just not covering on that play. So it's now 21-0 in the first half. Aggies trying to get anything before the break. They just need something. Gabe Dickey rolling out of the pocket, finding his receiver, breaking a tackle, and putting 6 on the board. They needed it, and they got it. Now with the ball again in the second half, and this is going to be a speed option. Whoop! Oh, my God. He got 2 of them. He got 2 of them. Oh, my God. Wow, that was a great spin move to find the end zone. But the defense letting Colorado State back in. I mean, you're supposed to protect the end zone. What are we doing, guys? They would lose 31-14, and now Utah State 4-4. And on the outside looking in of the Mountain West title race. Now we're going to Texas State, Arkansas State, some Sun Belt action for you. 2nd and goal as Arkansas State is now leading 7-0. 1-6 Arkansas State, by the way. If in order for them to make a bowl game, they would have to ring off 5 straight wins. Texas State also with a bowl game chance. They lose this one, they're out, but they're 2-6 right now. If you win 4 straight, you have a shot. You have a shot at it. And this is just piss poor defense. I mean, what are we doing, man? Have some pride, man. Just have a little bit of pride. At least we know Parkhurst is going to find the end zone here. He's going to put the team on his back a little bit. He may throw a lot of interceptions, but the guy is just not going to quit. But the defense, I feel like they just rolled over and were like, yeah, you can have this one. We're good. Like, just show me anything, man. Just please give up 52 points to a team with 1 win. What are we doing? UL Monroe taking on Troy, and it's the Warhawks finding a lot of green on offense, tying this thing up at 7. I mean, the speed option has worked so well for this team all year long. Why would you go away from it? Okay, I mean, what are we doing? I'm struggling to find words for what we were doing there. Why? That was never open. That throw was never there. Oh my God. This is Jesus Christ. So, I mean, I feel like ULM could be a legit team if they didn't, like, if their quarterback wasn't mentally retarded. Like, if he wasn't an absolute, oh my God. This is going to be the 3rd pick 6 of the first half. Guys, I need to take a break. This is disgusting. I'll let you watch this. I'm going to pause for a little bit. Okay, so they scored. Now we're going to talk about App State, Old Dominion. This is a big one. This is a really big one. Old Dominion has struggled against this App State team. Getting in the end zone first is huge for them. This App State offense, man, people just struggle with it. Something about it just is tough for other Sun Belt teams to really muster. And wow, another bad read going back for a touchdown. This is bad. I mean, great play call by the App State defensive coordinator. I mean, basically the exact right play call for what Old Dominion called, but you can't make that throw if you're Michael Van Buren. You just can't do it. And then this offense started to sputter. I don't know if they just tried to get too out in front of themselves or what, but 31-7 now. It's 4th and goal, 3rd quarter. It just looks like App State is getting whatever they want to offensively. And yep, there it is. 59-15 is your final. Wow, that's not great. Time to do a little look back at week 9. Let's start with the Mountain West. We had Nevada losing, pretty embarrassingly to Hawaii, as Michael Ford did whatever he could in the first couple of drives, and then everything kind of fell apart from there, and the Rainbow Warriors just dominated. Utah State from start to finish could not keep up with Colorado State. Just one of those games that you hope you don't see from Eric Taylor and the Aggies, but you saw it here today, and it wasn't very good. Then Ohio with a big win over Toledo. I mean, when you talk about the stakes of this game, Toledo being in the top 20 at this point in the season, Ohio essentially needing the win in order to keep themselves alive in the MAC title race, given that they lost to UMass, and UMass was undefeated in conference at this point. You needed this win. You got this win. Massive. Middle Tennessee, big dominant win over Louisiana Tech. Not much to talk about there. Delaware needed the win, got the win. I mean, when you're talking about a program that was down bad and needed some good vibes, good juju, they got it here. A tough loss for Missouri State coach Dustin Wagner. They fall to 4-4 on the season, but I believe their goals are still in front of them. They have winnable games down the stretch. They can stay alive and maybe, keep themselves at least around the title race. I think they're pretty much out of it unless Western Kentucky just completely falls off. But we're talking about a bowl game, right? You can still get, to 8 wins on the season. You get to 9 wins, if you win your bowl game. So everything's still on the table for the Bears. Western Kentucky, big win over Liberty. I mean, they just got to keep winning, right? Keep themselves alive for this title race. If if Jacksonville State is to slip up, they're in the title game, and that is huge for the Hilltoppers. As we shift our focus to the Big 12, we talk about Kansas and Oklahoma State. Now, the Big 12 championship not looking like it's, super plausible for them with the way Baylor and Colorado are playing right now, but they're not out of it, and so you got to keep winning. You want to get to 6 wins. You want to get to that bowl game. For Kansas, it's also about Tiquan Falah. You want to get him, as much recognition as he can, because a Heisman for that program would do wonders. So big win for Kansas, big win for Oklahoma State to come out. Coming out of this week with W's is huge. And then Notre Dame had a little bit of a scare with Navy. Needed to put up some points at the end of the game to really feel good about the result of it, stretch that thing out to a 19-point or a 29-point victory. But it was, that final score does not indicate how close of a game that was. And it was a very nice game for Jonathan Paylor. Let's be honest, guy's probably going to win his second Heisman. And then talking about the Sun Belt, the behemoth of a conference, Louisiana, massive win over Coastal Carolina. To do that in that fashion, they had Tavian St. Clair in hell. That win says a lot about. It's a program win for Louisiana. It puts them in firm control of their destiny the rest of the way. If they are to win out, they're in the conference title game, and that is huge. That is why that game was so important. App State looking like a buzzsaw in the Sun Belt yet again. I just don't think they're going to be tested the rest of the way. It would surprise me if they didn't win this conference for a third straight year. And then Troy just dismantling ULM, and Arkansas State dismantling Texas State. The bottom of this conference is some bad football, if we're being honest. Now, Texas State surprised some teams earlier in the season with a couple of their wins. ULM is a second half team, to be honest with you. Coach Hugh Janis, we saw it at Buffalo, finishing the year with 2 out of 3 victories. They're a second half team, so they've just got to get their feet under them, because we're in that second half. So look for them to start playing better, having a few closer results. But yeah, that record wise and margin of victory wise, not great for either of those schools. Let's go still talk about this Heisman race, because it is, you saw it after week 1. We are still in the thick of things. Obviously, you want to win the game too. So that is paramount. CJ Hester is doing everything he can. That's the second touchdown of the game to keep his boys in it. Louisiana now leading 25-23. Lunch Woodfield rolling out of the pocket. And Lunch is on the run, baby. We're taking Lunch to go today. That's a big touchdown there. And then Lunch again. QB sneak finding the end zone. Needed it. Got it. 39-31 victory for the Cajuns. And CJ Hester adding to his stat profile a little bit. And then Jonathan Paylor, it's a 21-17 game, so, he needed to come up big, and he did right there. And if you know why I'm showing you this clip, he's probably going to score again. The dude is just unbelievable. The speed in space that he's got, the shiftiness that he's got, truly stuff of legends. And he would be the second ever player to win 2 Heismans back-to-back. 2 Heismans in general, but back-to-back like Eddie George did back in the day. Big win for Notre Dame. Big day for Jonathan Paylor. Tiquan Falah has to do a lot to just keep up. He's going to have to do even more to pass him. That touchdown right there will certainly help. Kansas now up 7-0 on UCF. Dumping it down to Cole Tab, and he's going to break a tackle. He's going to find the end zone. Man, that is man ball right there. And then again, Cole Tab on the ground. He's going to fight. He's going to cross the plate. Trying to get Tiquan Falah involved near the goal line to get him some more touchdowns. But, you got to take the points when you can get them. Now up 42-17. This is what I'm talking about. Get Falah in space and let him do the rest. That touchdown would put the cherry on top of a dominant performance from the Jayhawks. Falah having himself a pretty decent day as well. Tim Carpenter, he's back. He's as much in the race as anybody else. And listen, he didn't do much on this play, but it's going to go on the stat sheet, and that's really all Heisman voters care about is how the stats look. They don't really care how you did it. So you could throw 101-yard touchdown passes. If you get 100 touchdowns, they're probably going to be like, yeah, that's the Heisman. He also can do it on the ground, too. A little dual threat action for you. I mean, at this point, it's like you know that he's in the race, and this throw is just unbelievable. The second level nature of that throw to wait long enough in the pocket, use your eyes to get the safety to look at the seam ball. I mean, just throw the cross. It's beautiful. It really is. He had himself a 4-5 touchdown performance, I think, on the ground, in the air. You name it, he did it. Oklahoma State taking on Colorado, and this is big for a couple of reasons, because Colorado right now has no losses in conference, and they're set to face Baylor in the Big 12 championship game. Kansas doesn't play Colorado, but they have one conference loss. They need Colorado to lose this game. So essentially, they need Oklahoma State to win. They're Oklahoma State fans today, so they're not happy with that defense, but they are happy with this Ricky Hunt touchdown. Now it's 21-14 as the Pokes are looking to add on to it, and they're going to find Ricky Hunt again out of the backfield. Touchdown, Pokes, baby. Now it's 28-14 Colorado. The Buffs trying to do anything they can to stay in this one. What do they got? What do they got? Oh, it looks like we're going to have a flag. But that ball is out. It's picked up. And there's only offensive line. This is going to be a scoop and score. Big win for Oklahoma State. Kansas alive in the Big 12 title race yet again. Now, I feel like we haven't seen Arkansas a lot. And there's a reason why. But listen, man, the SEC is tough. Every single week you're playing an NFL caliber team. I'm just talking about all the talking points that an SEC coach would talk about. Nice little house call to start the game for the Razorbacks, but Kentucky, I mean, standing in the pocket, delivering a laser across the middle of the field, knotting this thing back up at 7, but Arkansas, I mean, this offense, man, this offense is good. Defense holds Kentucky to a field goal, but they're back in the red zone yet again. This time, they weren't going to be happy with 3. They get 6. They add the field goal to make it a 17-14 ball game. But listen, I mean, I told you this offense is good. This offense is really good. 21-20 after another Kentucky field goal. And that is just power on power, big on big. And we're going to do it again. Kentucky, QB sneak in the end zone. They're going to have to go for 2. They get it, tying this thing up at 28. But Arkansas with a beautiful drive to get down inside the 5. It's going to set up a very easy field goal for them. I mean, this is essentially an extra point. That one is up. That one is good. Arkansas survives the scare of Kentucky, stays ranked, and gets to bowl eligibility. 31-28 is your final. Listen, SEC's a gauntlet, man. They say it. It's true. You're going to have to come with your A game every single week. App State taking on Southern Miss. And like I said, this App State, who's not ranked, by the way. App State's not ranked. Buzzsaw. I mean, when you get to Sunbelt play, this is it's a different team, man. They just have better players than a lot of their competition. And then when they don't, they're just more well coached. They're more well coached, to be honest with you. It feels like they're inevitable every single time they take the field. Just, I mean, look at the way that they break angles, that they just dominate on offense and defense. I mean, 42-3 is just a pummeling. It really is. And that Southern Miss team is not bad either. Marshall taking on Georgia State. They're looking to get to 4 wins on the season. Bowl eligibility is not out of the question for the Thundering Herd, but with throws like that, you can probably kiss it goodbye. I mean, you just can't be forcing it into windows like that when you've got other guys open and then nobody tackles him on the return. Ridiculous. 3rd and 11. Oh my God. That is a backbreaker, man. That's brutal. That is brutal. It's what are we doing defensively? It's 3rd and 11. Play the sticks or do something. Oh, that is a massive hole. I could say some things about how big of a hole that was, but I think I will refrain. Ensuing kickoff, Thundering Herd find a seam, and he's gone. There's no way they're catching him. That is a big touchdown, big time. They needed that. Cuts the deficit to 14. Now if the defense can just get a few stops, we're golden. I mean, we're talking about being back in this ball game. Okay, literally right on time. I had my watch set to that. Give up big play touchdown for Marshall. So they did exactly what they're supposed to there and get absolutely pummeled. Old Dominion, Georgia Southern, Turbo Richard, touchdown. What more do you need to say? This Old Dominion offense is fun, man. They have so much big play potential. So when I said you have so much big play potential, I didn't mean for the other team to score. Michael, what are you doing? The throw is not there. So guess what? We're locked at 21 yet again. Okay, you missed a big time hole. I mean, talk about getting manhandled to the point where the running back could literally choose how he wanted to score the touchdown. That is insane. But Turbo Richard is unreal. The vision, the agility, the change of direction, stopping on a dimedness. That is beautiful. Georgia Southern now up 31-27. Make that 38-27. This is an 11-point ball game now. You need a touchdown, 2-point conversion. Oh my God. Trying to do the little drop thing, because what the is Michael Van Buren doing? Trying to lose them this ball game. Old Dominion. I mean, listen, they're alive for the conference title. They're not technically out of it, but after this game, they might as well be. I just throw it all away. 45-35 now. And I believe Georgia Southern looks like they're going to score another touchdown. I mean, you're talking about threatening the red zone. Oh, my God. That was a disgusting throw. Talk about layering a football. Whew, we're still in the third quarter? Are you kidding me? Michael Van Buren takes off. He's going to dive across the plane. Man, this is 11 points yet again, man. Wow, and they got the ball right back. That was fast. That guy's wide open. Okay, hold on. Maybe we have a ball game. Okay, hold on. Maybe we have a ball game. Turbo Richard breaks the plane. That is a Monarchs lead, but it's not. Oh my God, they're gonna blow it, aren't they? It's picked off. It's picked off. Old Dominion's gonna win this thing. What a comeback. What a game, man. You needed it. You got it. Holy crap. Wow. Tavian St. Clair, what do you have for me? I got a pick six, he says, because I'm an idiot and I like to throw in a quadruple coverage. At least make the tackle, dude. Dude, no. You can't throw a pick and then not make the tackle. Come on. What? I give up, man. This Coastal team is so disappointing. Every single time that you start to believe again in Coastal Carolina, Coach Goon and his boys do not look ready. They do not look prepared. They come out and do stupid. Well, that's a nice throw. I mean, that's a nice throw. You cut. Oh, wait, Coastal's leading now? Okay, maybe I didn't have to do the whole monologue about being disappointed in Coastal Carolina. Maybe just frustrated in how they play the game. Like, what are you doing? Seriously, what do you guys practice on during the week? I feel like they are probably just only practicing offense and really only practicing drop back passing game. I mean, that's nice. Andrew Olish has been a great addition for this offense. I mean, he's up for the Mackey, Penn State transfer after his freshman year, I believe. That's a nice run. That's a nice block. Oh, my God. Let's go, baby. Good offense. Good offense, 28-20 now. Defense getting a few stops as well. I mean, it's 20 points in the fourth quarter. Defense is playing pretty good. Oh, my God. Break a tackle. Oh, my God. Score. Holy shit. What a play. 35-20 now. Coastal Carolina showing that, hey, maybe we're not so bad. Maybe we're not so disappointing after all. Every time I talk nice about this goddamn team, they do something like that. Oh, my God, he doinked it. Oh, you could have ended the game. He could have ended the game right there. Oh, my God. Okay, it's 8 points, so even if they score, they still have to get the 2-point conversion, and it's fourth down. So get to stop, and then, God fucking damn it. Every time I try to be nice to Coastal Carolina, they do some stupid shit like this. Troy's going to get this, aren't they? They're absolutely going to get this. Yep, of course they are. Of course they are, because why not? Good God, man. So frustrating. Oh, hold on a second. We're going to have a walk-off kick return. You're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Bang! What a win for Coastal Carolina. Good. Wow. Hey, you got it done. It was ugly. You almost blew it, and you got it done. A win is a win. I feel like I say that every episode because of how some of these games finish. Oh, boy. Missouri State and Texas State in some random-ass non-conference game in the middle of the season. That is Josh Joyner, if you haven't heard of him. Texas State was just introduced, and let's just say they're not too fond of what he did to their defense. Just give it to him again. Oh, no, they're going to play fake. Oh, rolling out of the pocket. Oh, yeah. Josh Joyner, wide open. Josh Joyner, touchdown number 2 on the day. Missouri State looking like they're going to run away with this. Yeah, Parkhurst finding his receiver out in the flat, and that's going to be a touchdown. Great blocking on the edge by that receiver right there. Minute left, and looks like Texas State is going to score again. Yes, they will. Great blocking on the edge. We're seeing that a lot. Maybe this Texas State team is turning a corner. But Missouri State finding Josh Joyner yet again. I mean, this kid is unreal. Whoop! Oh, take two of them. Do it again. Oh, my God. Oh, it's disgusting. Honestly, it's embarrassment. This is like pantsing someone in public and taking their underwear too. I mean, you're just showing off everything, making everything look disgusting. And that's going to do it, I think. You hit this field goal, I believe. There's nothing really Texas State can do. A 9-point game with 30 seconds, less than 30 seconds left. Trying to run some extra clock here. Missouri State going to drop it down, and that thing has got the leg. Man, what a kick to send Missouri State over 500, now 5-4 on the season. Texas State falls to 2-8. And again, your computer's fine, your video is fine. This is just the stream acting up again. Delaware now on the board, but we figured some things out, and the Blue Hens showing why that they got some fight left in them. They want to get to bowl eligibility, want to get to that 6 wins, just to feel something again. And feel something they would. I mean, this is just beautiful blocking, taking a 2-touchdown lead over Liberty. And we're going to make it 3 because we really need some catharsis here. Mason Kelsey rolling out of the pocket, finding his running back in the flat. That is another Blue Hen touchdown. Come on, baby. Let's get to bowl eligibility. Why don't we? Western Kentucky trying to stay in this race, playing a really bad New Mexico State team. And Brad Smith going to keep this one, going to cross the plane. 7-0 Western Kentucky early in this one. And it would be a lot of touchdowns. Parker Livingstone. Wait, what? That was not the intended target. I don't know how he caught that, but listen, he scored the touchdown. So I guess you're going to take it if you're Coach Chuck downfield. This was just complete and utter dominance from Western Kentucky, up 28-0. Now we're still in the first half. Brad Smith going to find Parker Livingstone again. Well, not again because it didn't happen the first time. That final score is correct. 84-0 is your final. Middle Tennessee taking on FIU in a torrential downpour. Nolan Ray out of the backfield on the screen, and he's got speed that you're not going to be able to catch. That is another Blue Raider touchdown. I feel like I say another because we've seen so many of them, but this is a 7-point ball game as we enter the second quarter. But Warren Campbell, the 5-star freshman, breaking an ankle, breaking a tackle, finding the end zone. I mean, just the guys that this team has on offense, it feels like they're like 12 deep. Oh my God, Hollywood Smothers. Oh my God, the blocks on the outside. Wow. That is just blocked up beautifully. It is now 28-7. You know, FIU maybe made this a game for a little bit, but I mean, Nolan Ray is gonna score again. This is, at this point, it's like, what do you expect to happen? And then Nolan Ray is gonna score for a third time. And it might have been a fourth time. At this point, I don't know, but it's a 70-point win for Middle Tennessee yet again. Utah State taking on Boise State. Now, if you know anything about Coach Eric Taylor, it's that he owns Broncos. Boise State is his Gabe Dickey end zone touchdown. Just get it. When the Aggies play Boise State, good things happen. It's just how it goes. So you can imagine how surprised everybody is that Boise State is winning this football game as we get towards the end of the first half. 2 minutes to go. And that is a powerful run by this Utah State offense. And they're not done either, trying to get one more score before the half. And that throw from Gabe Dickey shows why we're so excited about this kid's potential. Are you kidding me with that? And then more power football. Run the damn ball, Eric Taylor says, as they're now at 30-14 and really letting it hang on Boise State. One more, bang! That is a forceful win for Utah State. Okay, let's talk about the Week 10 games, starting off with the Fun Belt. Coastal Carolina with the walk-off kick return. That is this stuff they make movies about. You know, if the game wasn't a regular season Sun Belt game, they would probably do that. So big win for Coastal Carolina. They needed to stay alive in this title race. We're going to talk about the title race a lot for the rest of the season because it is coming down to the wire. Old Dominion, big win over Georgia Southern. They came back down late in that game. Got kind of like Coastal, different way though. Skin of the teeth victory. They get it done though. Louisiana dominant again on the ground. CJ Hester trying to do everything he can to catch up to Paler and Falah in the Heisman race. unfortunate loss for Marshall. They continue to go in the, I guess, wrong direction. I don't know if they're necessarily going in the wrong direction, though, but it's definitely not the right direction. So maybe they're just staying stagnant. App State, buzzsaw. What more do you need to say? Texas State out of conference game, losing to Missouri State. I don't really know what to say about that. It was kind of it was not a bad performance for Texas State, but it certainly wasn't a good one either. Missouri State coach Dustin Wagner, these boys are going bowling. I told you at the beginning of the year, 9 wins are on the table for this team. Middle Tennessee, another 70-point win. We don't need to talk about anything else there. Delaware, listen, bowling still on the table. Like I'm going to be honest with you. I thought that maybe we were looking at like a 4-win team a couple of weeks ago. Now, we still may be, but I think that this team could get to 6 wins and do enough to get to a bowl game. And then Western Kentucky with one of the most dominant performances you will ever see in this series. 84-0 is the final. Just an unbelievable game from everybody on that team. Great game plan from Coach Chuck Downfield. One of the best coaching performances, I should say, in this series so far. Oklahoma State, massive win over Colorado. They needed it to help Kansas. They also needed it to help themselves. I talked about Kansas a lot in that game, but Oklahoma State needed to get back on top and really put themselves in a position to make a good bowl game, to potentially keep themselves alive for the Big 12 title race. So they did both of those things. But Kansas, they took every advantage that Oklahoma State gave them and beat the shit out of UCF to really solidify their hold as a team that could potentially make the Big 12 title game. Arkansas, SEC win over Kentucky, right? We're going to keep talking about SEC because it's so difficult. It is so much harder than every other conference to win that game. I'm just messing with you guys. That's a big win for Arkansas. It's one that was kind of up in the air, but you stay ranked. They're 6-3 on the season. Now, playoffs are not out of the question. They still got Alabama left on the schedule, so we'll see what happens down the line. Utah State owns Boise State. We don't really have to talk about that one too much. Notre Dame with a massive win over Syracuse. Jonathan Paylor keeps the Heisman train a-going. And then Ohio, big win over Kent State, excuse me. Tim Carpenter playing phenomenal football. Listen, there's a reason why the guy's in the top 4 of the Heisman race. Speaking of the Heisman race, let's talk about it. So I don't have the actual graphic. Full transparency, we're moving much faster than I'm able to keep up with, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But the Heisman race is insane right now. So as it stands after week 10, it is Jonathan Paylor at 1, Tiquan Falah at 2, CJ Hester at 3, and Tim Carpenter at 4. Michael Ford has fallen out of the top 5 of the Heisman race. Not playing in week 10 certainly didn't help his cause. He can obviously get back into it, but it really seems like right now it's a 4-horse race. And if we're being honest with ourselves, it's a 2-horse race between Jonathan Paylor and Tiquan Falah. And if we're being extra super duper honest with ourselves, it's probably a 1-horse race, and it's Jonathan Paylor's to lose at this point in this season. His ability in the kick return game, in the punt return game as a receiver, they just kind of force feed him the ball too. So it's kind of like, how are you supposed to keep up with that? The amount of touchdowns that he scores, it's just hard to maintain pace, and you're going to have to do even more to surpass him. I just don't know if it's possible. Now talking about the rest of this season and how I'm going to structure videos in the future. We are kind of at the point in the Dynasty where teams are so much better than their conference opponents that the games aren't super exciting. And I am having trouble keeping up with the pace at which we're moving through weeks. If you know anything about Twitch, which is where we stream most of our games, they have a 7-day window if you're not an affiliate member, and I think only like 3 people in the league are. So there's a 7-day window for me to capture any footage that I need for the videos. Now, that if I'm traveling, if I'm like Thanksgiving, I was away and wasn't able to capture really anything, but we advanced like 4 weeks, 5 weeks during that time. So it's really tough for me to keep up with the current format, the way I'm doing it. And I put it a lot on myself. I didn't realize how time consuming this exact format would be. And so I am doing something to change that, to make the videos a little bit more exciting, because let's be transparent, let's be honest, you didn't need to see Western Kentucky win 84-0. You didn't need to see Middle Tennessee win 77-7. You really didn't even need to see App State beat Southern Miss 42-3. Those games just aren't exciting, and we're seeing a lot more of those in this series as we get to, year 3 onto year 4. Teams are getting better, competition's getting worse. For whatever reason, the bad schools in this game cannot roster build to save their life. They go after 1 and 2 stars instead of going after 3 stars. It's the wildest thing because of how many 3 stars go untouched every single year. That is for a different video at a different time. Sorry for that little tangent. So the idea that I've been toying around with, and that a couple of guys in the league have also suggested, is that instead of showing every single game from every single week like I really have been doing, we'll just show like 5 of the best games with the most stakes every single week. Now, we'll still do as many user games that I think are necessary, but again, like the App State game from earlier when they played Old Dominion, I don't really think you needed to see that game, even though it was a user versus user game, because it ended 59-15, right? So I just don't think it's necessary for you guys to be able to see that. It doesn't really do anything. Now, if it was a game with high stakes, then yeah, it would probably be one that gets shown. But, I think if we do a good job of showing, the 3 or 4 best games from every team during this season, then it gets you a good idea of what's happening in the league. Now, that doesn't mean that we're not going to talk about the games that happen during the week. So those scoreboard recap screens that you guys see every single week are still going to happen. So the way it would work in my mind right now is that we'd have 5 games that we go a little bit more in depth in. It's not going to be super, in depth. I'm not a huge show all of the, big plays like interceptions, 4th down turnovers, just because in my opinion, if it's not late in the game, those aren't super exciting. They kind of drag out the actual game itself. I'm more of a touchdown. Show what the impact plays were that changed the way the score is. And so you'll see some games, if it's a low scoring game, then I'll add some of those early plays in. But if it's not, I don't really, if you score a lot of touchdowns, I want to see touchdowns, and I know you guys want to see touchdowns. So that's why there's a lot of touchdowns in. And so it'll be those 5 games. We'll go, as in-depth as we need to. And so those are going to be the 5 best games of the week in terms of impact on the season of, in conference race, Heisman race. Like if a guy has 400 yards and 5 touchdowns, then we might show it. That might be one that we pick. But it's going to be big games that kind of impact the playoffs and in conference races, or just highly anticipated matchups. And then what'll happen is a scoreboard recap screen that has every single game from that week, and I'll kind of talk about what happened in that specific week in those games. So if you see Marshall lose to Georgia State 58-24, it won't be a minute and a half of Marshall. It'll be, and I don't even know if there is a minute and a half of Marshall at this point in those games. Maybe there is. I actually really don't know. It'll be, a quick 30-second of Marshall lost again. They are now, 3-8 and scratching for a potential, or they're, eliminated from a bowl game. They're just trying to play spoiler at this point. That would kind of be how it goes. I think that way it helps get you more exciting action and not just, hey, this team was up 35-0 in the first half. And I'm not going to show you any of the second half clips because there's no meaning behind it. There's a running clock. So I think that kind of gets us in a better spot. And then with that, I could also compact the videos even more. So they could be, 20, 25 minutes, or I could add more weeks into videos, which is kind of where I'm leaning because it allows me to have more time in between to work on other things. Because the idea of this channel was to be a college football 26, or just really a college football channel. And I feel like what it's turned into is an online Dynasty channel. And as much as I love doing this content, because I do think it's really exciting, and I love our league, the immersion in it, and the fact that we stream every game, and we really we know all of the players on each other's teams, all of the really good players, and we have inside jokes about them. I think that it's, the way that it's structured and the way we do it is super fun, and I don't want to change that, and I still want to post it to YouTube because I think that it's enjoyable to watch. But you can only take so many blowouts to an extent before you start to get turned away from the actual videos. And so I think if we do like quarter updates where it's the first 4 weeks, you get, or maybe the first 5 because there's 14 weeks in the season. I'll have to figure out how to structure it. This is kind of me thinking on the fly and just talking to you guys from there. But I think that if you do every 4 or 5 weeks, a recap with 20 games in there, it's about what we have right now in a video. It flows a lot better. It's able to get you more in the same amount of time, and you're not really missing out on anything. And then, I'm going to be honest, I think we're moving at a rate that would be unsustainable for me to keep up if I wasn't going to switch to this format. Full transparency, a lot of the guys in this league are still in college. And so when you're coming up on winter break, that means a lot of time at home, a lot of free time. And so we're going to see probably quick movement through weeks at the end of the year that me working a job, being one of the couple of guys that are out of college at this point in working jobs, I just don't think I'll have the time to do this consistently while also trying to do other content focused around the game, because I have a lot of really fun ideas that I just have not had the time because I've been spending all of it doing this series. And I want to get you guys a variety of content that I think is interesting, because I do think that at a certain point, if it's the same video every single time, because I do feel like I'm kind of running out of different ways to give you this format. Like, there's only so many different things I can say about this same exact game, right? Like, we're seeing it with Middle Tennessee. They have won every single game pretty much the same exact way the entire season. That's not fun or exciting for me to talk about. Like, hey, they scored 42 points in the first half. They scored, they won by 70. Like, that's not enjoyable for me at that point. I have just the best time talking about the close games that happen, or the really bad games where stupid decisions are made. Those are the games that I have the most fun doing highlights for. So, long-winded way to say the series format will be changing the rest of this season. So I will tell you how that's going to go right now. If you're still watching at this point, I think we're at like 50 minutes. So if you're still watching at this point, thank you. You're one of the awesome people that I love that has made this channel even possible. But the next episode you'll see is the entire recap of the rest of the regular season and conference title games. We have already finished all of that. I do not think that I will be able to get any Week 11 content from videos. There are some big results that happen that we'll just start the episode with next time. Not going to be super exciting start to the episode, but once we get to Week 12, Week 13, and Week 14, I'm taking the 5 best games from each of those weeks and talking about them. Those are going to be the highlight call games. We're going to do scoreboard recap because the title races are insane. I'm telling you right now, you want to make sure you are notifications on for that video, because the way that the end of the season has gone is freaking wild, man. It is insane. And there was a lot of unknowns. Like, there was a lot of anticipation in our group chat about what was going to happen. So I'm telling you right now, like, it is absolutely worth your while. So that is going to be the next video that you see, is weeks 11, 12, 13, 14, conference championship week. Because I don't want to, I really don't like the flow of making you wait for conference titles. And then it's just, there's a couple of games, conference title games. And then, I'm not really going to do an end of season recap. I'm going to try to do awards, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to get there in time. And then the final episode of this season will be bowl season, college football playoff, coaching carousel. We're going to do all of that in the final episode of this season. So there will be 7 episodes of that. And then we'll see if I'm able to get like an end of season recap at some point in there. like there's not a ton to recap that we haven't already talked about in this series so far. In terms of award winners, like a lot of the guys that are going to win awards are guys we've already talked about plenty, you know, because of this Heisman race. Like it's going to get to the point where it feels like it's just redundant talking about the same players. And then defensively, like I don't focus enough on the defensive side of the ball for you to know these players. So it just, you know, I probably won't end up doing something like that. But we will absolutely do the coaching carousel because there are some fun things that are going to happen there. Other than that, long-winded explanation for what's coming down the pipeline, but I felt like it was necessary. Thank you guys for sticking through it. If you did, I'm sure that probably like 2% of you that watched this video have watched the entire thing, and I appreciate you guys specifically. With that being said, that is all I have for you today. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Catch you on the flip. See ya.